Alright, so this is the 94 xr650l, and I'm here to talk about some of the mods that I've done to it in order to make it more comfortable for the road. But number one, the gas tank. That's the main thing I want to talk about. This is a 6.3 gallon gas tank, and it's made for a xr650r instead of the 650l. And if you happen to do this, it is possible, but a lot of modifications need to be done. So anywho, nice thing is, you know, it makes it easy to put a backpack on. Mine is waterproof. It's a cooler inside, so it makes it easy to carry around extra coats and pants and so forth. But let's talk about the modifications. So with this, I ended up having to trim the original plastic because it actually went up to here. So I had to cut it. I cut it about right about there, so it tucked underneath, and I had to do that on both sides. So yeah, you do have to do some trim work of the plastic. And number two, the other thing is the seat pan. You can see the ripple here, and well, the seat pan underneath is rigid, and I had to cut the humps out of it and feather it up in order for it to lay flat. And so there is modifications done to the bottom of the seat pan also. And you really can't get rid of the ripples because, well, it's just, the overlapping of it is crazy. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the front brackets. Originally this is sold for the R model, but as you can see here, here's one bracket, and they mount to the motor frame brackets. But yeah, there you go, that's a better picture. And it's just a split fork, and it slides down and then you bolt it on tight. But I had to manufacture or modify them and bend them so that they would go around my headers and then sync up. And you can see the next one here. This one is even more highly modified. I mean, I haven't. It'd be nice if, you know, I was a welder and a fabricator, but and then so I've got one on the lower bolt mount and one on the higher or frame mount. And well, this gas tank doesn't move. There is one thing that I would like to mention is normally underneath here there's a bracket where the original gas tank, the bolt hole screwed in. There's a bracket that should come with this, and then it runs up and it screws into the gas tank. I don't have that. I've called the company and I've asked for them to send me one, so hopefully I can secure that. But the biggest thing that you're going to get, this gas tank does not fit over the frame. So I had to use tie down straps, wrap them from down here on the frame and bring them up and down and crank it and cinch it and basically spread that gas tank over the frame to get it on there. And normally you have to do that with the smaller gas tanks also, but you know, this one, yeah, crazy. Now you can see my turn signal, it goes right up, but that's the limit of my steering anyways. So when I do turn It does not impede anything. I still have the full turning radius, and then on a front view, it gives you the clearance, and it gives you a great big factor on, you know, the air scoops that originally on this bike. Since it is air cooled, these help tremendously. But yeah, it needs to be washed. I've been riding it. It does make it a little tight to get into the, well, that's only because of my bag, so that's not too bad. But it does make it a little tight to get into your oil. And what I normally end up having to do is I have to put a pair of pliers on there in order to get it, and then sometimes I actually put a strap on it and just pull the gas tank back, just, you know, or there, just like that much. As long as I can bring it back that much, I can pull that out and check my oil anytime. But 6.3 gas tank, I can run. It's got 2 petcocks on it. That is one other thing that I forgot to mention. You can see that bumps right up against a wiring harness mount. Right now I've got both of them set in reserve, and you really need to look at when you mount them which one you're putting where, because so right now with the lever pointing backwards on both sides, that is my reserve. I run it in reserve just because I'm about 43 miles from work one way. But when I was running this just in full on, full gas tank, I can get 200 miles out of it. And then I hit my reserves, about 210 I hit my reserves. And the nice thing about the plastic, you can wiggle it. I don't know if you can see it, but right here is my fuel. So I mean, you can see, yeah, there you go. You can see through the plastic, since we don't have fuel gauges on these bikes, how much gas you got left in it. But it is still paramount to reset your odometer every time you fill up. There is one other thing I did, and I'm not very good with seats, but I did put a bolt through my seat into the gas tank, and that hole is already supplied in the gas tank, but just to keep, I had to trim my gas tank. I had to trim, or not my gas tank, I had to trim my seat, the bottom pan, at least by an inch in order for it to fit. But as you can see, it does look nice, and it gives you the option of putting a regular backpack on there and keeping the straps away from the engine heat. And so, I mean, any backpack you can do this with. You don't have to go out and buy those expensive tank backpacks. And this will increase your range and give you a lot more time to have fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. Any comments or concerns? Post them. I'll answer them. Some of the other modifications I've done is I changed my gear ratios. I put a 40-inch sprocket in the rear and a 16-tooth sprocket up front. You know, to try and give me more top-end speed for the highway and so forth. I put on you know, new chain slides top bottom and a new one on the bottom, and if you can see that white little film, for some reason it's rubbing on that chain slide on the bottom, that UHMW, and I haven't quite figured that out, but it seems to be all right. I'm traveling with, you know, that 1 5/8 inch travel that they ask for, but The next mods that I'm looking to get is I'm looking at getting a rack system that comes out from the back and mounts in to here, or actually probably here, and then it's got another bar that comes down into here. That's the rack system I want, and it's actually supposed to step out about here, so it kind of acts as crash bars also. And then the next, I want to get I forget what type of pipe it is, but right now I'm just running a super trap pipe on it, but I think the other one's a big red. Except the only thing that scares me about a big red pipe is you have to repack them, and it's supposed to be like all the time, and I'm not into that type of high maintenance. But you can see I got a new plastic guard on the disc brake. I want to get a metal one, and I want to do the same for the front. But before I do that, I was really hoping to get some that was nice, thank you for interrupting. Some Motard rims, 17-inch in front and back, and 4-inch the same in front, so it gave me a bigger footprint. That'll be a lot more like Supermoto, and then I'll change these out to knobbies so I can switch back and forth. But you can ask for more in the bike, I'm just saying. Hope you enjoyed it.